Welcome back to more of The Raven. Let's see what we got here. Glass of toothpicks.
The steward must have forgotten the toothpicks. Normally he would offer them discreetly after dinner.
Okay. Can we take them? Just one. Alright. Huh. Fancy. Alright. See what else we can notice is clickable. Actually, see, this is one downside about when it's not very clear. Like, it doesn't, like, make a big deal out of who can be talked to and what can be clicked on. And the problem with that is just that with how fancy this environment is, nothing stands out as obviously important. Aside from the characters, of course. Let's look at these guys again, I guess. Because I didn't really observe them.
Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmacott from me, a pushy admirer. Very diligent. But she does seem a little nervous and tense. I imagine she has her work cut out for her with Matt. And a difficult boss, from what they say.
Oh well, I'm sure the old bat will kick it soon.
An extraordinary woman. Talented, intellectual, extremely rich, and the most successful writer of all time. Yet, they say she can be difficult on occasion, and that she's rather unhappy.
Well, isn't that sad? Let's move on. I don't see anything else obviously clickable in here, so hopefully I didn't miss anything. I probably missed something in the last car, though, so I'll keep that in mind in case I get lost. Or stuck or something. Look behind the bar.
I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence.
Haha, I'm sure not.
The pad on which the steward writes orders. Empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much to do today.
I wonder if we're gonna take the pencil and rub it across the paper to see what was last written there. I'll bet you we're gonna do that.
I don't need the pad, but the pencil might come in handy.
Okay, maybe not. Overthinking it.
The steward probably uses the scissors on hard-to-open packages. These days, nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague recently told me about dry powdered soup in small bags. I couldn't believe it.
Yummy.
I'll leave the scissors here. If I need them, I know where to find them.
Fair enough. I do kind of like that he seems to be only taking small things, which makes sense. And then for the bigger things, I guess he just leaves them there.
A shortwave radio. It's amazing how small these things have become in the last 10 years.
I wish I could see it around your huge gut, but I can't. Okay, yeah, I'm guessing like the 40s or 50s.
Perhaps he keeps the compartment keys in there.
Oh.
Locked. Where could he be?
The compartment keys probably are in there. It's like lockception. Great.
Butterscotch.
Oh, I love butterscotch.
I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth.
Do you have false teeth? Ugh.
Maybe if I just suck it.
Please don't take that line out of context. Okay. Did I miss anything? Was there anything else behind the bar here? No, I can't touch anything back here. Okay, fair enough. Oh, he took more than one. Huh. Well, let's keep in mind that the butterscotches are very sticky, because we'll probably be using them for something like that. Oh, that looks a little suspicious, doesn't it? Is there something clickable here? I feel like I'm hitting something with my mouse. Maybe not. Maybe it was just this guy. Whatever.
Ah, Mr.
Zelda.
Right. How can I help you?
Anything suspicious, man who's not even looking around and just reading newspaper?
Tell me, did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or in Zurich?
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform?
Yeah, except for that.
Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zellner, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. Legarde is his name, if I recall correctly.
Legrand.
If you say so. At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps just to keep an eye on cash boxes.
A cash box? Like the ones you'd find in safe deposit boxes?
Precisely. And I believe we both have a good idea just what's inside.
Cash?
I do indeed have a theory, but what's yours?
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary Eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited together in Cairo for the first time in 50 years. It does make one wonder.
Indeed.
Fair enough. I guess I had no way of knowing that until you just told me, but alright.
Any news about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were injured.
Well, one cannot execute a robbery of that scale without collateral damage. It seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward to new and spectacular coups.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
Yeah, he's just reading the newspaper. He's just enjoying the news, so I'm sure it's exciting for him, you jerk.
May I borrow your newspaper?
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
No, I want to read the
You
comics.
caught me out.
Here you go.
Dankeschön.
Nice.
There's something else. Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves and didn't bother getting back on the train.
Whoa,
if
whoa,
we
what?
don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He is not here doing his job. That's bad enough.
Wait. So, the conductor may not be on the train? Well, who the hell is driving this thing then?
I meant to ask. The Baroness is missing her purse.
A baroness? This train is really full of the creme de la creme. The queen of crime is over there, and now a baroness as well.
Have you seen the purse?
Unfortunately, no. Do you know Lady Westmacott? You were talking to her.
Well, I'm an admirer of her work.
Like so many others. I once read in the newspaper that only Shakespeare and the Bible sell more copies than her crime novels.
I read that too.
She must be filthy rich. As a doctor, I'd have to work 1,000 years to earn that kind of money.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable. It was a pleasant chat, really.
Oh, that's nice of you to lie. Wait, I thought he gave me the article. And yet, it's still clearly there on the front of his newspaper. Yeah. I don't know how he managed it, but somehow he was able to tear off the front page and give it to us, and yet still have a copy. What?
A story about the upcoming Oscars and Cleopatra's chances of winning. An incredible feat. They built the largest movie set of all time in Rome. And because of the main actress's many illnesses, several changes of director, and months of delays, cost shot to over $40 million. The most expensive movie ever made. A record never to be broken.
Never, ever.
John Surtees won the Formula One World Championship for the first time on Saturday. He also won the World Championship in motorcycle racing from 1956 to 1960, making him the only man in motorsports to win World Championships in both motorcycle and Formula One events. Not really my cup of tea. Too loud, too fast, too much exhaust.
I don't know, I think exhaust is kind of your cup of tea entirely, considering how fat you are. Okay, so apparently we're talking a time Oh, I think I see a date. 1963 looks like. Okay, so I guess I was a little off on my guess at the time.
Let's see if there's any news. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx. One of two priceless jewels. Extraordinary pure ruby. 2000 BC, etc., etc. Old news. And here, shocking burglary. Professional thieves surprised by museum guard Charles Langley and Constable Robert Oliver of Scotland Yard. Explosion? Not really anything new. One of the two eyes of the Sphinx, a ruby that's nearly 4,000 years old, was stolen from the British Museum. The burglar was surprised, but managed to escape with his loot without being recognized. That's the official story. But it says nothing about Legrand and the second eye.
Interesting. Alright. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure what language this is offhand, but if you can read this, let me know what all this says, because you could probably squint and actually see most of these words here. I wish I could read it all, because I'd be kind of curious to know if it all says what he says it says, or whether it's basically like a German lorem ipsum.
Luna's Drops, the calming herbal liqueur for women. A glass a day, it relaxes the nerves and maintains domestic tranquility. Luna's Drops, if you don't want to bother your husband.
Okay, then. Yeah. He does have... Wasn't he showing me... It looked... When this guy was talking about the burglary, he looked like he was showing me that front page, but that has nothing to do with it. It's the back page that talks about it, isn't it? Huh. Whatevers. Waiting for loading. Okay, whoa, don't fall off there, buddy.
A box with a padlock. I suppose it contains tools for the train's crew, maybe for coupling and uncoupling the cars. At any rate, it's positioned so that it's easier to reach from the ground than from up here.
Yeah, okay, well, obviously we're going to be working on that after a bit, but I certainly wouldn't. Not in real life, I'd never do that. This guy's got some balls. Wow.
Locked.
Bang, bang!
Holy piss.
Don't move!
Mad, have you gone mad?
Shove him off the
I'll
car.
Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a ghost.
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too. One just flew past the window.
Yes, yes, sure. Now get moving.
Oh, man.
Oh, I hate that kid.
The ladder leads up to the roof. It will be suicidal to climb up there while the train is at full speed. The wind, tunnels... No, I'll stay down here.
It's kind of funny, because they do that all the time in movies. So, but he has a good point.
I strongly suspect that the door is locked.
And?
No, it's open.
Okay. What's the point of that?
Hello? Wow.
Don't move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert. If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the Yard. This is the revered Constable Zellner of the Swiss police, who obviously couldn't control his curiosity.
So this is your trap then. This sucks.
Then I was right. You really do want to lure someone into a trap.
That's none of your business.
Perhaps that someone recently struck in London.
And how would I bait my trap then?
With an eye? An eye on its way from Zurich to Cairo.
Someone has done his homework. Well done, Constable.
Actually, that one guy in the other car basically told me the whole thing, so...
I hope you'll acknowledge that I, as a Swiss policeman, can undertake investigations in my own country.
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train as long as you're here in the freight car.
Oh, really?
Sure.
There is a certain Professor Lucien on the train. He's an archaeologist from London.
And what's his story?
Well, it seems someone locked him out of his compartment.
Locked him out.
Well, yes. The door is locked and he's standing outside without a key.
Was it locked from inside?
It may have been. Do you think the locked door could be important?
Professor Lucien plays an important role in this story. Well then, Constable Zellner, be my eyes and ears on the train and see that Professor Lucien gets back into his compartment. Report back to me when you're through.
My pleasure, monsieur.
Lame. Okay. Let's talk about this fat guy.
Constable Robert Oliver. Is it possible that I read your name in the newspaper?
Ah, could be, sir. Could very well be.
Robert was there when the first eye of the Sphinx was stolen.
Why were you in the museum? Did you spot something from outside?
Well, sir, I noticed that a door was ajar, which was suspicious, and it was my duty to investigate, sir.
Scotland Yard gave him a commendation and assigned him to me as a liaison.
A great honor, sir.
That's just dandy. Ask about the wallet.
Baroness von Trebitz told me that she's missing her purse.
Baroness von Trebitz? Interesting.
Indeed, sir.
But it has nothing to do with our case.
So I shouldn't concern myself with the matter.
Why not? It's your job as a policeman. But don't expect me to be particularly interested in a lost purse.
Oh, snap.
What do you know of this Raven's heir?
He tried to blow me up.
Robert, we don't know who we're dealing with yet.
In any event, the new Raven is a more dangerous man than the old one.
How do you know it's a man? It could just as easily be a woman.
Or several men.
And anyway, how do you know that it's a new Raven?
Monsieur,
Never mind.
I go attend to the door now.
Good. And, Constable Zellner,
Yes?
don't bother us unless you have something new to report.
Of course. A thief might get anxious if there's too much activity in the freight car.
Exactement. Knock twice. Then we'll know that it's you.
Understood.
Well, I mean,
An investigation on behalf of Legrand that takes me one step closer. If I can convince him of my competence, I might even be able to see this case through to the end.
yeah. I was just gonna say though, knocking twice really isn't a very good indicator. Because, I mean, personally, when I knock on a door, I don't go once like that. I usually go twice just by default, or at least 3 times. But usually it's 2 or 3 times. Just, most people would do it that way, right? Who knocks on a door only once? Anyway, I'll see you next time. Come back for more of The Raven. See you then.